That was pretty funny. What do you make of Benoit, and where do you think he's vulnerable from what you see?
Um, you know, I think he's a dangerous, young, hungry guy with everything to gain. With everything to gain.
With everything to gain. With everything to gain.
Dustin Poirier fans are delusional, and I cannot wait for Benoit Saint Denis to prove them wrong at UFC 299 and to finish and easily finish Dustin Poirier so that these fucking Poirier fans that think that Poirier's some kind of special warlord, you can't go to war with him and win. I literally saw a comment earlier today saying, dude, Benoit wants war. No one wants to go to war with DP. Yeah, what about his last fight, where he got KO'd by Justin Gaethje and outstruck in the first round? How about all the other fights where he was getting his ass beat by Michael Chandler? Huh? How about that one? What about his loss to Khabib and Charles Oliveira? How about those? And that was Poirier in his prime. He's older now. He's contemplating his career. You think he wants to grind in the gym with wrestling like he used to? No. He wants to hit that bag. He wants to hit the pads. DP wants to get in there, man. He wants to post that little shadow boxing video on his Instagram, listening to Jada Kiss. You know, when it rains, it pours, rains, it pours. You know, when it rains, it snores. That's basically what DP wants to do. DP doesn't want to struggle. DP's getting comfortable off of that hot sauce money. Now, I know he hasn't made it. I know he's not Conor McGregor made it. He's not the fat cat yet, but he's got 1 foot in and 1 foot out. Look at this quote from an interview I saw the other day, man. Someone asked him, hey, DP, is this your last fight? Dustin Poirier responds, and he says, I'm 35. Every fight could be my last fight. Are you kidding me? You think Dustin Poirier was having those thoughts in 2019 when he fought Khabib? You think he was having those thoughts when he fought Charles? Hell no. He's 1 foot in, 1 foot out. Benoit Saint Denis is hungry. He's like 27 years old. These Poirier fans don't have a leg to stand on, and I'm tired of acting like they do. Seriously, why are you picking this man? He's about to get fucking steamrolled. And a lot of these Poirier pickers, by the way, a lot of these guys don't even love DP. They're just trying to be Mr. Pump the Brakes. Hold your horses. We don't know this guy yet. DP's, he's a top 5 guy. Come on, man. Let's not get hyped up on this new fun prospect. We got to be smart. We got to be logical. But actually, the logical pick is Benoit Saint Denis. And the people that are picking Poirier are just trying to be too smart for their own good. All right? I'm on to every single last one of them. Okay? Bedtime MMA, I'm calling you out. I know what you're doing. So don't even play. Don't even fuck around. All right? Listen. There are some people that genuinely think Poirier's going to win. Again, they've seen a pattern. They've seen the lightweight fraud check pattern with Mateusz Gamrot losing to Beneil Dariush, with Rafael Fiziev losing to Justin Gaethje. But this isn't a striker versus striker matchup like Gaethje and Fiziev. It's not a grappler versus grappler matchup like Beneil Dariush and Mateusz Gamrot. It is a striker versus a grappler slash marauder on the feet who's extremely dangerous and hungry as well. I honestly think that Benoit Saint Denis has a kind of similar ratio of striking and grappling in his style to Charles Oliveira. Whereas, you know, he's so dangerous on the ground, his opponents have to respect it, and it allows him to get away with a lot of things on the feet. So this is a well-rounded, predominant grappler versus a striker. Totally different matchup. So I guess the burden of proof is on me to explain why I'm so confident that Benoit beats Dustin. So the first thing that I'm going to do is tear apart any argument for Dustin Poirier winning this fight. Of course, I understand that anything can happen in MMA. We're not going to address those stupid arguments because it's like, okay, someone can drop down into the middle of the octagon with a banana peel and bullshit. We're not talking about that stuff. I guess the Poirier argument really falls apart when you think about how he usually wins his fights, because we know that DP doesn't usually get one-punch knockouts. We know that he's not a guy that finishes people in the first. Of course, he got rid of McGregor kind of early on in their rematch, But let's not forget, McGregor had been inactive, and on top of that, McGregor just doesn't have that grit and toughness like he used to. And even a prime McGregor didn't have that grit, toughness, and excellent cardio. But Benoit does have those things. I just don't think Benoit St. Denis is going to fold due to a little calf kick. And that's basically what happened in that fight. Also, it was a striker-on-striker matchup. This one ain't. And again, outside of the Dustin Poirier second round finish against McGregor, where he's up in front of a striker who we can find his flow state with, who else has he finished early? The last guy that I could think of is Bobby Green, first round KO, which was all the way back in 2016. And that's kind of it. And so my main point is that Poirier usually doesn't finish people early, and I think that he may need to hurt Benoit early, because when Poirier faces these high-pressure grapplers, guys that are mixing in the takedowns, that are also dangerous on the feet, he tends to gas out. He's a totally different fighter, and we've seen this time and time again. And a lot of you guys may not know this, but Poirier doesn't have the best takedown defense anyway. And part of that is because he had a hip surgery. I think that was maybe like 5 or 6 years ago. He's not a brick wall. And when you look at how he's been able to perform against heavy pressure grapplers, like Michael Chandler, for example, who I think is chinnier, who I think is a dumber fighter than Benoit St. Denis. Well, look at what happened in that fight. Chandler not only did all right in the first round, he was actually winning that round for the majority of it, and he took Dustin down on his first attempt quite easily. Yes, he got hurt at the end of it, fair enough. But in the second round, he totally dominated Poirier. Took him down with his first attempt in the second, controlled him for 4 minutes and 30 seconds, beat him up pretty badly on the ground, and then Chandler, I believe, could have actually done the same thing in the third, but instead of just going for a regular takedown, he goes for this big flashy slam and does a pistol squat, which is probably one of the hardest things you could possibly do. It's probably the hardest takedown because of how much energy it takes to actually hit it, and I think he gassed himself out doing that. And Chandler's not known for having a good gas tank. Chandler's got a bad gas tank. I have no reason to think that Benoit has a bad gas tank. I actually have every reason to believe that he has a phenomenal gas tank. Look at the pace that he put on Ismael Bonfim, who going into that fight got a lot of hype as this well-rounded prospect from Brazil that was finishing everyone in his path. He ragdolled him in the grappling. I mean, though the fight was only one round, the pace in the grappling was pretty phenomenal. And we saw the same thing against Thiago Moises, who guys like Makhachev, guys like Beneil Dariush, phenomenal grapplers with great gas tanks, didn't come close to dominating Thiago Moises as much as Benoit St. Denis did on the ground. Only one guy has finished Thiago Moises that easily, and it was in a stand-up battle, and that's Joel Alvarez, who was striking with him. And so my point is, you have to look at the Chandler fight. Dustin was getting his ass kicked, and that's a guy that's chinny, that people could make the argument, man, he's just so hittable. He just doesn't have the best chin. I think Poirier's going to knock his ass out. Well, he didn't do that, all right? And Chandler did very well on the feet in that fight as well. You look at the Oliveira fight. When I talk about Poirier being a completely different guy after grappling, I mean, the guy was doing really well in the first round. He won that round. He knocked down Charles. How did the second go? Well, he got taken down. He got controlled for about 4 minutes. He got the shit beat out of him. In the third round, he was a pushover. He looked like he had fallen off of a cliff. He had nothing left to give. And he was on his back the entire time in the second, just surviving. Like, he wasn't even expending a lot of energy. And he didn't even put up a fight. He was just a sitting duck waiting to get finished in that third round. We saw something similar in the Khabib fight. Khabib put a tremendous pace on him in the first round. The same thing in the second, and Poirier was completely done by the third. Okay, so when we see Poirier dig deep against these guys like Dan Hooker, and when we see him in the trenches with Max Holloway, he's fighting someone that's not going to be level changing. He's fighting someone that's playing into his cards, that's going to allow him to find that flow state. And he's going to need to get a TKO in the third or the fourth round. And I just don't see that happening, because not only is Benoit going to put a pace on him in the grappling, but he also has knockout power. He also has a granite chin. He fights like he's willing to die in the cage, and he's probably literally killed people. So there's that as well. I know Poirier's tough. I know Poirier's been to war before. And he can do well. This is a fight at the end of the day. It's under the mixed martial arts rule set. But Benoit is just too much of a problem for him everywhere the fight goes, okay? Like, the pressure that Benoit was putting on Moises in the striking, for example, was in the clinch. Like, he was trapping Moises' hands and landing elbows and not giving him any space. I think he has a great style on the feet to not give Poirier space while beating him up with elbows and knees in the clinch. Benoit's also a massive lightweight. And again, it's like he's in his physical prime. He's 27 years old. He's rapidly improving. I just think that Poirier don't want it as much as he used to. And I don't think he's going to be the best he's ever been. And I don't think now, for the first time ever, coming off of a KO loss, after losing to every single grappler, is he going to rise to the occasion and show us something completely different. I don't think that's going to happen. Okay? He's up against a guy that can put his lights out, who just had a head kick KO against Matt Frevola. And we even saw some of his defensive grappling there too, where Matt Frevola took him down and Benoit reversed the position instantly. I mean, he even said that he was planning to get taken down so he could do just that without having to expend a lot of energy going for the takedown in his own. And I think that's going to play into Poirier's mindset a little bit. This guy just had a head kick KO. I just got head kick KO'd. Poirier is going to get steamrolled. Picking him is not the right pick. And I think he's going to be scared shitless of the grappling. I think that's going to prevent him from striking without being a little bit hesitant, okay? And I think that Benoit will be able to capitalize off of Poirier's hesitancy because he has the threat of the takedown, and that's another thing that Poirier will have to deal with. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. My official prediction for this fight is Benoit St. Denis by KO in the second round. The reason why I say knockout is because I think he's going to put a tremendous pace on Poirier early. Poirier's going to be tired. He's going to be feeling it in the second. And maybe Benoit will take him down in the beginning of the second round. Poirier will work his way back up to his feet. He'll be hesitant. He'll be scared shitless of the takedown. Benoit's going to be building confidence, and all of a sudden he's going to head kick Dustin Poirier off of a clinch exchange and put him away, put his lights out. So I'm going to go with a second round KO for Benoit St. Denis. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Until next time.